Okay, good morning. Since its most distant origins, we all know that wine has left a rich cultural legacy. Wine is a music's companion, especially in the visual arts, including painting. This mosaic can be seen at the British Museum in London. 4,500 years ago, the King of Earth celebrates a victory by drinking wine with his brothers in arms at court. This is one of the oldest works of art to show wine being shared. The long history of wine in painting started around the 15th century BC with frescoes in Egyptian tombs. Here we have a very accurate depiction of harvesting grapes on pergola. Today, I would like to show you some examples of how great and minor masters have depicted the world of wine. Manet, one of the artists most involved in the painting of wine, insisted that art should reflect life. Paintings which represent wine depict daily life and social life. The theme of wine as a social marker reappears throughout the ages. Another important thing to note, the great masters are significantly involved in wine. 1/3 of the works I have collected, more than 400, are the product of great masters. Most of the paintings that I will talk about today are the work of great masters, indicated with a yellow mark. Wine has long been considered as a foodstuff. It restores the sick, accompanies family meals, and boosts the working people. It is present at every level of society. In the 19th century, cheap red wines were consumed by laborers at work as a refreshment and a tonic, but also as a comfort. We can see this here in women ironing by the gare. Next, a change of scene of the 19th century Parisian bourgeoisie. In the dining room of this private mansion, the wine is served in a decanter. Crystal wine decanters were a social marker. They were part of the refined art of the table, even in family circles. From the second half of the 19th century, café culture was adopted by the masses. For many customers, the café was like a substitute family. It was also a place to kill time. The café here seems very modest. These farm hands are drinking a basic bottle of wine. Wine in painting often reflects social life and is linked to social status. Wine is a companion of friendship. In the riverside dance halls of the middling bourgeoisie, the pleasure of being with friends broke up the monotony of the week. You can see this splendid painting in Washington. It captures an idyllic atmosphere as Renoir's friends share food, wine, and conversation. This work is bursting with joie de vivre, as said by Duncan Phillips. The wine is an essential link between the diners. For the working classes of the 16th and 17th centuries, any distraction from daily hardships was welcome. Scenes of village festivals were common in the painting of the Northern School, starting with the work of Peter Bruegel the Elder. These images convey perfectly the jubilant spirit of countryside or religious holidays. They were at least as numerous as official holidays today. The fight between Carnival and Lent symbolizes the passing of the fat days before Lent. The fun lovers are led by Carnival, a fat man sitting on a barrel. On the right, a painfully thin woman embodies the spirit of Lent. Manet very much appreciated this canvas, wherein allows this Dutch officer to affirm his social status, his sense of civic duty, and his wealth. is able to afford the best wines and to serve them in German-made Berkemeyer glasses. It also shows that he is a man of taste. It was important for him to demonstrate this to society. Franz Hals was commissioned to paint this portrait for this very reason. For London's entry in the 18th century, wine drinking and port drinking were practically the same. Every occasion was a party. The guests at such events were described as athletes of liquor. If they didn't collapse under the table, they would climb on it, like this gentleman capable of imbibing 3 bottles of port in a single evening. Such drinkers were nicknamed three-bottle men. This was in the initiation test at the Hellfire Club, a famous London drinking club. Wine could also be drunk at cabarets and balls. From the end of the 19th century, female champagne debauchery was seen in fashionable cosmopolitan circles in France and abroad. Champagne was drunk as a symbol of pleasure. It was said to give women an amazing verve. In more intimate moments, any sort of wine can be connected to seduction and love, or even lust. Dutch painters were the first to illustrate the role of wine in seduction. Vermeer, one of the great masters, would devote no fewer than 6 of his 35 known works to the dark side of wine. The man offering wine to the young woman hopes that its aphrodisiac effects will wear down her resistance. Wine is like a love potion here. The young man still seems hesitant. Will she succumb? Here Chagall illustrates the drunken irrationality of love. Wine even breaks the laws of gravity. This ensemble shows the earthly and supernatural power of love. We have been witness to character success, from cheerful inebriety to all-out drunkenness. Some artists have used wine to convey a message. Some 16th and 17th century artists condemned wine drinking in the name of morality. Some 18th century artists celebrated or denounced the lifestyles of the social elite. Some 19th century artists reminded us that drunkenness can lead to alcoholism. From the 15th to the 17th century, artworks were often used to convey the moral messages of the church. Some painters did not hesitate to denounce drunkenness. It was feared that such scenes could stop one from going to heaven. Here, Georges de Latour shows us a young man subject to the period's 3 major temptations: gambling, lust, and wine drinking. In this image, Van Gogh copied an etching by Daumier. The oldest protagonist in the middle gulps his wine, while the middle-aged man drinks beer. The young man on the right seems to pose while downing his glass of absinthe. The etching demonstrates a famous Dutch proverb that Van Gogh, who was Dutch, would have known. As the old saying, so the young pipe. The young boy greedily drinks a glass of milk, an addiction for every age. His painting is on show in Chicago. Fortunately, wine can also be enjoyed by connoisseurs. While fashion and taste are as old as time itself, they came to the fore in the late 17th and 18th centuries. The rise of the merchant classes in countries such as England made savoir-boire an essential social marker. In Catholic societies like France, courtly behavior was still in fashion. This painting was commissioned by King Louis XV for the dining room of the private apartments of the Château de Versailles. The noblemen are shown eating oysters, a fashionable dish imported from England during the 18th century. They are drinking sparkling champagne wine known as saut-bouchon, or Coke Popa in English. Given its limited production and its high price, champagne was only available in the royal court and among well-to-do circles in Paris and London. The atmosphere is very reserved, and there is no excess. The hunters are sipping this luxury wine and discussing its color, smell, and taste. This wine from Champagne has a body, a vigor, an upward movement, a flavor, and a delicacy. The connoisseurs are drunk on descriptive language. 70 years later, Talleyrand, who was the owner of Chateau Aubryon for 3 short years, explained to one of his hosts the proper way to drink wine. Before bringing the glass to one's lips, one must admire it and savor the smell. And now, do we drink it? Asked his friend. No, monsieur, not yet. Now we put it back on the table and we talk about it. All this shows us that savoir-boire and savoir-parler come as a pair, whether in Bordeaux or elsewhere. Thank you for your attention.